Hey, Lynn.
Hello, everybody. Hello, Richard. Welcome.
Hello. Hello.
Welcome, Richard.
Thank you, Joe.
Joe, next time I rename myself, can I be somebody other than Chip Tarbell?
What do you want to be, Chip?
I don't know, Jim. What do you think I should be, like Donald Duck or Tom?
Eh,
Maybe Tom Cruise would be fitting,
Tom
or
Cruise.
should I just go Maverick?
Yeah, just go Maverick. There you go.
What are you laughing at?
Hit the little dots and you can change it and try any name
That's
out.
right. You can change it to whatever you want.
And what background do we have today? Is that the Cape or is that
Baker's Island off
Nova
of
Scotia?
yeah, Baker's Island off of Marblehead, Beverly, Salem.
Oh, okay. I knew it looked familiar.
Yeah, that's on the ocean side looking back in towards Mass
Back
Bay.
into it, yeah.
Yep.
Look at you with your Florida shirt on.
Yeah, representing. She's home in 2 weeks. I saw her parents' weekend like almost a month ago. She's doing well.
That's great.
No roommate situations, all good.
She's lucky. She loves her roommate and she's got some good friends and school's going fine. So
So, good.
yeah,
All you hope for.
yeah, absolutely. The hurricane missed her, so that was even better.
All right, we'll give it a minute or so more.
A full minute?
1 minute, and that's it. Hey. Dinner is awaiting.
I know. I can smell the spaghetti from here.
I think we're only missing John.
Don't forget to introduce the new full
I'm
members.
going to, absolutely. Richard's on.
Here comes John.
Oh, John on now. All right.
Almost, just needs audio.
Okay, good. All right, why don't we begin at 7:01? November 10th, a meeting of the Permanent Building Committee. First, we'll have public participation, then I'm going to introduce a new member. Is there anyone who wishes to engage in public participation? Hearing none. I'd like to introduce everyone to the new member of the Permanent Building Committee, Richard Conway. Richard, you want to say hi?
Hi, everyone. Thanks for letting me join. I've been a resident of Wakefield since 1992, and wife and I purchased our first home and still only home in Greenwood. And we've loved it ever since.
And Richard, what you do for work?
I manage a network of contractors that do service and repair work in the Northeast.
Oh, great, great. Well, welcome aboard. We are happy to have your expertise. I'd also like to introduce everyone to the new voting member, Mr. Hardacre.
Oh, you finally made it, Wayne, huh?
Yeah,
A voting member, how about?
A voting
that?
member.
That, right?
right.
Thank you very much.
All right.
He looks exactly the same.
He does. I don't know why it's
Change it all,
different.
Wayne.
Because he hasn't been beat up enough yet.
Yeah, give him time.
Thank you, gentlemen, and ladies and gentlemen, thank you, thank you, thank you.
All right, wait. All right, Lynn, I made you co-host, so take it away.
Can you see my
I
You
can.
can, Lynn.
presentation?
Yep.
Yep.
Welcome, everyone. We'll start off with the public safety building tonight. We have several administrative actions on the agenda for tonight. We'll round that up by a budget update, and then we'll turn it over to Bond to do a construction update. First on the agenda is the review and approval of the October 6th PBC meeting minutes.
I move that we approve the October 6th PBC meeting minutes as written.
And I second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Are there any objections to approving the October 6th, 2022 PBC meeting minutes? Hearing none, the minutes are approved.
Next on the agenda are the October 2022 invoices.
I'm sorry, Lynn, I can't do this because there's more than $1 million and we don't like spending that much money. I move that we approve owner project manager Left Field's invoice number 24 dated 10/31 for the amount of $18,500.
I second that invoice.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Tom,
Yes.
Richard. Richard?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. All right, Jason,
Yes.
Chip,
Yes,
Mark,
Yes.
Wayne,
Yes,
Bill,
Yes.
John.
Yes.
It's approved.
wow, that's a lot of people, Joe.
That's a
I
lot.
know, I can't.
We haven't done that. We haven't done that many for a vote in a
A
long time.
long time.
I move that we approve Left Field's commissioning services invoice number 24 dated 10/31 for the sum of $1,890.
I will second that.
Any discussion? Lynn, these commissioning services are for Jay to do his work, is that right?
Yes, you should have received 2 of his reports already. And yes, he's been visiting the site once or twice a week.
Just so everybody is familiar, could you just describe what Jay's function is?
Jay is our MEP specialist at Left Field, and he oversees the installation and the startup of all equipment on the building, and also the controls of such, and working with the owner to make sure they understand how to operate the equipment and controls.
And we have a specified budget for it, I see. Is that
We
correct?
we do, we had we'll talk about that before. I know that you guys approved that for Jay to do the commissioning, but I formalized it in a contract amendment that you'll see coming up. It is a not to exceed budget of 20,134 that we had budgeted in the total project budget. So we're cognizant of that, but as you all know, Jay puts in the time necessary to make sure that everything's running appropriately.
Any other discussion or questions?
Yes, is he working as a third party or for Left Field?
He does work for Left Field.
Left Field. All right.
Any other questions?
Which is essentially a third party in that we're not installing or providing the equipment.
All right. Tom,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Jason,
Yep.
Chip,
Yep,
Mark,
Yes.
Wayne,
Yes,
Bill.
It's always one.
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, yes.
I really had the rhythm going.
I'm sorry.
too.
I didn't realize I was on. I had a question. Is it okay we're approving this before we approve the amendment to the contract?
It's
yes.
the commissioning services were approved for Left Field, and I'm just formalizing it with the
Formalize it, okay.
contract. Yeah,
I'm fine. Yes.
I mean, I just
John?
think in case it's an issue with payment with the town.
Okay. John,
Yes.
unanimous.
I
Chip,
move that we approve HKT Architects invoice 22022-023 dated 11/4 for $20,049.98.
I will second that.
any discussion? Hearing none. Tom,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Jason,
Yep.
Chip,
Yes,
Mark,
Yes.
Wayne,
yes,
Bill,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
unanimous.
I move that we approve bond construction invoice number 10 dated 10/31 for the sum of $756,298.78.
I will second bond building.
Discussion. Okay, none. All right. Tom,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Jason,
Yep.
Chip,
Yes,
Mark,
Yes.
Wayne,
yes,
Bill,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
I move that we approve Environments at Work invoice 41397 dated 10/25 for the sum of $2,818.
I will second.
discussion.
can we,
Lynn.
can we get an explanation of what we're paying for?
It's all in the backup. If you've looked at the backup, you have the whole bill.
The $2,818 is for storage, because they could not install the furniture at the time specified, which I believe was back in August.
Right, and that was a change order that was approved.
And the next invoice, which, well, it's
Yeah,
for actual office furniture for the current phase
Okay.
that was just recently turned over.
and the FF&E budget still has 185,000, correct?
Correct.
Right.
I have a question. Is this 28, so this 2818 doesn't affect future storage? Or there's going to be a future bill for this, correct?
We have a future bill for phased installation, but I don't know of another bill for storage.
there's one for phasing, one for storage. And the 23,000 is a partial of what was installed already, but we don't have the phasing invoice for tonight.
And are there going to be additional storage costs?
No, this is all in. This is for 3 months. The 2008-18, 35 pallets for 3 months. We wanted to make sure that we ordered it early. We were concerned that we were gonna not get it in time, but as it turns out, we have to hold some of it.
Any other questions or discussion? Tom,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Jason,
Yep.
Chip,
Yeah,
Mark,
Yes.
Wayne,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
unanimous.
I move that we approve environments at work 41399 dated 10/25 for the sum of $23,613.50.
I will second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Tom,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Jason,
Yep.
Chip,
Yes,
Mark,
Yes.
Wayne,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
unanimous.
I move that under technology and communications, we approve Allcom Technologies invoice number 37654 dated 10/14 for $4,143.74.
All right, I'll second that.
Any discussion?
Yeah, Adam, can you run through all three of these invoices and where we stand and what is coming? Because like on the next one, I just do it all at once. You know, we have 232,000 left in this line item, 68 in the next, and 50 in the next. Are these only partial payment, partial?
These
or-
are
No.
drawing down to the 50, we have $50,299.31 left in the technology budget. This is all of the technology that the project has committed to date. The 50,299 is left over, and it's either going to be expended by the town IT, or it's additional money that we have for the project.
So Chip, if I could add just a little bit of detail, anything that's Allcom, all three of those invoices are related to dispatch technology. Dispatch is complete now that we have completed that space, and the police department has been using that space since October 18th. So the first charge of $4,143 is for 2 home run antenna cables that we did not have covered in the initial buy. That was an approved change that we worked through together. The next 163,000 is all of the dispatch technology at the 3 workstations. And the last one is for the radio, the new radio system.
Okay, thank you.
And I'm
So
sorry.
4,000, so that will be covered in when we approve the PCO, right?
Right. And as Lynn was saying, the remaining 50,000, we'll call that the Todd Bowden self-performed stuff from the town, which is stuff like card access and cameras.
Okay.
Any further discussion or questions? Tom,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Jason,
Yep.
Chip,
Yes,
Mark,
Yes.
Wayne,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
unanimous.
I move that we approve Allcom Technologies 37694 invoice dated 10/24 for the sum of $163,733.87.
Second.
Any further discussion? Tom,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Jason,
Yep.
Chip,
Yes,
Mark,
Yes.
Wayne,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
unanimous.
I have one other question before we approve this last one. Have they done all the training that they are due to do for the police department? have they completed and satisfied all their
I believe so,
work.
Chip. I'd let Craig or Chief Scory.
Yeah, but we should know that. That shouldn't.
I
there
believe
should be
that's
I don't remember what the contract said as to how much training there was gonna be. I just want to make sure that it's all done before we pay them everything they're looking for.
that is true. The system that was built very closely emulated what they had, and there was not a lot required, but definitely some done day of turnover.
Chief,
Yeah, Joe, everybody is up and running on that, but maybe I'll get together with Adam next week and make sure that whatever's in that contract has been done, just to verify that, but it has been operational since the 18th. I haven't heard any complaints. Nobody seems to be having an issue with operating the system, but again, I'll get together with Adam to make sure that contract has been honored.
okay,
Yeah, so Chief, I just don't want to pay them fully if there's something they still owe us.
No, that makes sense. So I'll get together with Adam on that.
Perfect. Thanks, Chief.
thanks, Chief.
But we can, Adam, we can approve it and just, I know it takes a little while to get checks written, so we'll keep moving.
Understood.
So I move that we approve Allcom Technologies invoice number 37695 for the sum of for the sum of $18,073.08 with the date of 10/24/22.
Joe, do you have a question?
Any further discussion?
Well, I'll second it.
Okay,
Okay, cool.
any further discussion? Hearing none. Tom,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Jason,
Yep.
Chip,
Yes.
Mark,
Yes.
Wayne,
Yes,
Bill,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
unanimous.
I move under miscellaneous project costs that we approve Briggs Engineering invoice number 0222336 dated 10/29 for the sum of $1,095.
Yep, second.
Lynn or Adam, what was this inspection of?
It's all the concrete inspection.
Is it concrete? Okay,
Concrete and steel.
yeah, all right,
Concrete and
great.
steel.
Any further discussion? Hearing none. Tom,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Jason,
Yep.
Chip,
Yes.
Mark,
Yes.
Wayne,
yes,
Bill,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
unanimous.
I move that we approve Case Security Systems invoice number 16332 dated 6/10 for $250.
Yes, this came to
Drop.
us late from the town, and this is for the shutdown of fire alarm for the
Oh.
work to be done.
Okay.
All right, I'll
And
second.
that wouldn't come out, is this, the other project cost is where you want to take it out of?
Yeah,
Okay.
There was a second.
All right, any further discussion? Hearing none. Tom,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Jason,
Yep.
Chip,
Yes.
Mark,
Yes.
Wayne,
yes,
Bill,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
unanimous.
I move that we approve Wayne Alarm invoice number 214299 dated 9/15 for the sum of $190.
this is similar alarm work as a result of the construction project.
Yeah, this one is a fire alarm shutdown. The other was a security shutdown.
All right, second.
Any discussion? Tom?
yes. Do
Oh,
they
no,
have,
sorry, go ahead, Wayne.
do they have a contract on this
Yeah.
project or with the town?
They have a contract with the town, Wayne.
I love contractors with the name of Wayne. That's great.
Now, I was gonna say, this isn't for you, is it? All
No, it's
right,
not my company. Go ahead.
all right. Even though you are alarmed. All right. Yeah. Any further discussion? Tom,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Jason,
Yep.
Chip,
Yes.
Mark,
Yes.
Wayne,
Yes,
Bill,
Yes.
John.
Yes.
Unanimous.
Quick question. Lynn, what else do you anticipate using this other projects budget for? Just things like this that come up that we're not,
Yeah, that support of the construction work or any
okay.
project work.
So at this point, is there anything you see coming up in the near future that's gonna be put towards this?
I don't know of anything right off the bat.
Okay, so this could be, so this is not available, but it's there.
Correct.
Okay,
There'll be
this is-
some small fire alarm impairment shutdown costs
as we move forward.
as we move
With each
forward.
phase.
Yep. But they're small.
Yeah. Okay, thank
But
you.
there will also be some masonry testing and some other
But that's under materials.
That's
testing.
material tested. We usually use this for any move services.
Yeah, like the stuff that the town
Right.
goes through or whatever. Okay, great. No, I just was trying to get a feel if you knew there was a big chunk coming out of this or it was for these little things.
It's for little expenses
Yeah.
like this. Really.
Good,
This is good to have in our pocket.
exactly. There you go. We need lots of.
We're gonna
pockets.
need a lot of pockets.
Okay, next is OPM contract amendment 2, and this is where I spoke about the commissioning services. And if you'll read, it's a not to exceed budget of what we have in the total project budget, billed on an hourly basis.
So just so I understand, Lynn, this was in our original budget, correct?
It was in our original budget. I'm just moving it to our contract only so that there's no issue with payment.
Okay,
Right, it takes out of the budget and into.
Right,
line items.
because there's no PO assigned to that.
Yeah,
commissioning.
so I move that we approve OPM contract amendment number 2. Moving commissioning of $20,134 into left field's budget.
All right, I will second that.
any discussion?
Yeah, I just gotta, what's the difference between budget and contract? So the original contract was 380. This is increasing the contract, but you're saying it's not increasing the budget?
Correct. We had a budget line. I'll show it to you when we get to the budget update, but we had a budget line for commissioning. Since we're gonna take over the commissioning services, we just need to move it to our contract so that it gets incorporated under our purchase order and that they can pay us for it. It's just currently, I'm gonna leave it as it stands on the budget as a separate budget line, so you can see how it's tracked, the use of it. But we just need this as a mechanism to be able to get paid for it. It doesn't
Okay.
change the overall budget at all.
And was there a reason it wasn't included to begin with? Just curious on why you just didn't include this to
Typically,
begin
we
with.
would hire a commissioning agent separate, but 20,134 is not a lot of money, and we agreed to do it with Jay.
We
doing
discussed
the
this months ago that we wanted Jay doing it. From our work with him, Phil, at the Galvin, he saved us so much. And we used him at the Walton as well, when we were having trouble with that contractor. And he's one of the best commissioning agents that I've seen.
Okay,
He really looks out for us.
that's great, because commissioning can be very expensive, correct? So
Yeah.
this is great. Yeah, okay, thank you.
And he, as indicated, he did a tremendous job for us at the vault. All right, any further discussion? Hearing none. Tom,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Jason,
Yep.
Chip,
Yes,
Mark,
Yes.
Wayne,
Yes,
Bill,
Yes,
John.
Yes.
It's unanimous.
Thank you. Next is construction change order number 9 for 149,209. These are the various PCOs that are associated with this change order.
and Lynn, we've approved all of these to date, right? Either
Correct.
through
This
the
is just-
working group or through here for the ones that are greater than 25,000.
Correct, and this is just to
Formalize
compile
it,
them
yeah.
into a change order.
Okay. I move that we approve bond building construction change order number 9 for the sum of $149,209.
Well, second,
Discussion. None? Okay, hearing none. Tom,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Jason,
yep,
Chip,
Yes,
Mark,
yes,
Wayne,
yes,
Bill,
Yes.
John,
yes,
unanimous.
And here's status of the budget. You should have seen the full budget in your packet. We've committed 96% of the budget and have expended 56% to date. After change orders 1 through 9, and all the other commitments that we've made, we have $87,633 left in the owner's construction contingency and $90,048 in the owner's construction contingency, for a total of $177,681. With our GMP contingency, after approved uses, we have $311,085. And just to quickly note, I don't know if you can see my cursor, but this is the commissioning budget line that we had. And if you'll see, I'm committing it on a as used basis. So we used 1,890 this month, or over the last 6 weeks or more. And it gets committed on a as we spend basis.
okay. Lynn, is this where you want to really talk about contingencies and the funds we have left based upon that slide you sent earlier today?
That's coming up next.
Okay. I'll wait.
Nice
till you
nice
guys go
segue,
through
Chip.
that.
There you go.
It's
So
almost like
with-
we're in sync.
Yes,
Yes, so with the owner's contingencies, the 177,681 that I spoke about, we have a pending total of $34,048, a submitted total of 29,266, and then we have estimated work out there totaling approximately 84,512. You should have seen the log. I included that in the meeting materials that I sent to you that provides backup for these. I believe there is a pending amount that is in question, but I took the worst case scenario just to let you know where it potentially may be, and that leaves us a remaining total of 29,855. And then adding to that with the GMP contingency, we started with 365,235. We have approved to date 54,150, which leaves us with the amount that I spoke about, $311,085. We currently have pending or submitted value of 8,972, and then we also have a estimated amount of 220,622, which gets us to the 81,491.
And I just want to make a statement on the estimated pending, that there's a $200,000 line item in there from bond. When we first started the project and anticipated extension and times and stuff like that, our hope is that we're not going to need any of that, but there is a line item hold pending on that in case there is a claim for extended services. Did I explain that right, Lynn?
Yes.
Okay.
Lynn, Adam, could you just briefly go over what we consider to be on the owner's contingency, the estimated pending?
We have so when we, the estimated pending is if we have anything that comes up on site that could have risk of cost, we put a value on it. May not have all the information, and a lot of times we don't, but we'll put a placeholder for that. Right. So what we're trying to do is, cover all future costs that we know. So that's what's in the estimated pending. All
And
costs.
Adam, where's that logged?
Yeah, that's what I could.
It's in the package. I did send it to you guys earlier.
But I mean, what's it logged at? Is it in the PCO log?
Yep,
Or is
it's
it just something that you're carrying kind of like on the side?
Nope, it's in the bond owners PCO log, and we get that every week, Chip.
Yeah, no, okay, so that's what that number is.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so these are from all the RFIs and everything else that might be out there.
Yeah, or even if we see a condition in the field and we'll submit an RFI, but we want to put a placeholder in case it turns into a cost.
Okay.
So some of that might not come to fruition, is what I could say, but we're trying to show a worst case scenario.
Yeah,
No, that's good.
that's very good. Are there any other questions or discussion regarding the contingencies?
I got a question, 2 questions. GMP contingency, if all of it is not used, what happens to the balance of that contingency?
Comes back to the owner.
So can that ever be used in place of an owner contingency if needed? Or can that only be used for certain items?
It's a discussion.
Yes.
Well said.
Phil, that's about as non-committal. We had this situation at Galvin. We did end up using some of the GMP contingency at Galvin for contingencies. So it's just a discussion. It really is up to the contractor, but it's dollars there. So you wait till the end and you see how all these pendings come out and see where
We
it's
also
all
have in
settled
our,
out.
we also have in the CM contract that we can ask for release based on percentage of construction progress.
Yeah, because it's
Again,
44.
it is a discuss, it comes down to a discussion, but we do have some contract language.
You know,
And
so
you
what,
guys-
44% of the
Wait,
contract.
I wondered how long it would take for Dave to chime in.
just-
Bob's pretty quiet on this whole subject so far.
So, I'll always remind you though, that we already, just prior to the final GMP, we returned 50,000 to cover some HVAC buyout overruns on your behalf too. So we knocked it down before we even started. And
That's good. You're such good guys.
You would say so generous.
we
Keep up
try.
the generosity. Yeah.
we try, and we love giving it back. But I would say that as Chip mentioned, that $200,000 placeholder, we're hopeful we don't need it, but I would say the way things are trending right now, some of that certainly is going to be needed for extended general conditions. But again, we're going to do our best to eliminate the need for that.
All right. Any other questions? Phil, you had any other questions?
No, I don't know. It's just, I'm sure everyone appreciates the low value of these contingencies with 44% of the project remaining. So like, it just, we have to just keep such a close watch on this number on a weekly daily basis.
Which I can assure everyone we are.
That we are. Yeah, so.
And causing usually the Tuesday meetings to be somewhat conflicting there. Well, anyway. Any other questions or discussion on the contingencies? Okay. Lynn?
I just quickly put this up here. It was a sketch that came in about location of items in the lobby. And I just particularly wanted to note that there are still some remaining items that need to be located. So just put a little graphic in here for tonight.
I'll talk a little bit about it, Lynn. So we are getting ready to hand the lobby over the end of this month. In doing so, we'll be putting back some of the artifacts that were there. If you look at the top, we have the existing dedication plaque. We're going to have a new dedication plaque immediately aside to that. We'll be retrieving the med box that has been temporarily moved offsite, bringing that back in. And then there's some other plaques that'll be hung, but happy to report that we'll be opening that lobby in the next couple of weeks.
Any questions?
What is the Boy Scout stand?
So, that is a relocated, the Boy Scout. That
It's
is
a box that collects old US flags.
Flag.
Oh, okay. good.
Oh, okay.
Good one, thank you.
Any other questions or discussion? All right, thanks. Lynn?
Just to quickly review the calendar, our next PBC meeting is scheduled for December 8th. Hopefully there's no issue with that date.
Hey, Lynn, can you just, for sake of when you feel like updating these, just eliminate the months that have already gone by
Yes, I will.
and the dates that have already gone by? So I don't feel like we have a ton coming up.
Yes, I will
Thanks.
do that.
Pretty minor, but thank you.
You're
January 12th, I think, is the community forum, isn't it, number 11?
Yes, there is a conflict with that date. I noticed that.
Yeah. So should we move it to the 9th? Should we move our meeting to the week before or after, the 19th or
Probably the week after to allow
It would have to be the week after because they'll never have
Never have the
invoices
rec
ready.
stuff. Yeah.
Okay,
And why don't we move that to the 19th?
okay, sounds good. I'll do that.
Thanks.
Next is just a quick update on when spaces will be turned over. Adam had just noted that the vestibule end of the month. And Apparatus Bay this week, I guess.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, we we split that in two so we could get emergency vehicles in and out. We did half and half. The other half will be I believe completed tomorrow. That's correct. Fire chief's office, that's we installed some new carpet in the chief's office. So we had to swing his furniture out, be going back in end of this week or tomorrow. And Sally Port, I tend to think we might have a chance of bettering that date. Dave and John, I'm speaking for you there.
I think we need to discuss that next week. There's going to be some decisions that need to be made with respect to winter conditions as it relates to that schedule being significantly different than what we originally anticipated.
Okay. And how about new additions and renovations? How do those dates look, Dave?
Looks pretty accurate.
They look good. We're
Drywall begins Monday. Exterior facade brick masonry is going up now. I can get into that when we get into pictures. Roughs complete, all inspections complete. So drywall Monday, and actually made pass-throughs into the existing spaces and taken over more. So
we're trending ahead of the originally revised schedule on the addition, but there's still a ways to go. But we're gonna better our secondary date and get closer to the original on the addition.
Great.
Okay.
How accurate's the vestibule? As of Tuesday, we didn't have a date. November 25th is the day after Thanksgiving. Like, has something changed? Did you have handles, hardware's in, and that's a hard date now?
it is not. No. So it more likely the following week, the following Friday, December 2nd. We did get some more bad news on hardware, but working to mitigate that, get some temporaries in place so it can be done. And then when the permanents do come in place.
I guess the other thing I would just mention is that I would not open it up to public use on a Friday. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Because if there are any glitches or any issues.
Our intended completion for, I suppose it would be the following Monday opening.
Yeah, that's what I would suggest, that it be on a Monday or a Tuesday. so that you guys are around if there are any glitches with any of it.
Absolutely.
So we know, just
I was
to
hoping you were
clarify-
gonna say you got good news between Tuesday, but I guess
No,
not. So,
we got really bad news today, and we're gonna have to work on temporary hardware for the panic bar. So we don't have we don't have a solution other than we need to find a temporary piece of hardware to achieve these dates.
yeah, it accommodates the cores that we're gonna be using too, right? Like, it's gonna
We're
have to be key.
for tonight, we're
Okay,
still
we're not getting into
investigating
that.
options.
Yeah.
This is breaking as of noontime today.
Always the bearer of good news, Dave.
Well, yeah, the bad news is always good early. We just, I think we've been talking about this a lot, but it just should be said probably, as everybody knows, the things are getting better, but they're still not back to normal with respect to material deliveries and lead times, and factories not holding any dates that they tell you. That's everything they tell us is a lie. And we get one date and 2 days later it changes to another date. It's continuing. And this hardware was adjusted a few times and was just recently released for fabrication. And now that they've got the official release, they're trying to hit dates that are difficult to achieve.
All right. Any further questions on the phasing update? All right, Lynn.
Okay, with that, I'll turn it over to Bond.
Yep, so left-hand side, see the apparatus bay. This is actually outdated as of today. It was paved yesterday, letting it set up for another day. Actually, binder coat has gone down in front of Sallyport and dumpster pad, wrapping that around. Actually, in the picture on the right as well too, structural steel went yesterday and today. Will be inspected next week and look to continue Sallyport area extension. On to the next slide. Left-hand side, we see the boiler room training for that happened with DPW today. Working on the last couple punch list items. Next item to replace in there is the domestic hot water, coordinating that with the departments for a shutdown late next week after a shift change. Right-hand side picture is previous dispatch, new roll call area. Demolition makes safe in progress, begin framing walls next week, and start the fit out of that space as well. Left-hand side here, progress with the addition. Masons up to the bottom, actually about midway up through the second floor windows. We'll continue on working them as much as possible to beat winter conditions, get this complete and weather tight, and put the windows in right after. And then right-hand side just shows up close detail of precast sill and the ground face going in down below. This is into the addition as well. All inspections rough complete here. Drywall starting Monday, and then pass-throughs. I believe 5 of the 7 have been cut at this point to get back into the existing building spaces. Two-week look ahead, 3-week look ahead. I said lobby, last couple items in the vestibule, working, putting a micro schedule together to ensure that we are hitting our target date for turnover there. Boiler room, just touched on this, training happened, boilers in place, working on domestic hot water. New addition, MEP rough complete. Inspection signed off, getting into drywall, and masons installing their block and precast. Fire department, west side, just need to stand up the flagpoles. Parts are coming next week, and we will get those lifted in place. Sallyport roof steel hasn't been installed. Get, as Dave discussed, work into masonry and working ahead this area. Exterior wall at records room, just one last soffit to install there with the skim coat. And then dumpster pad fence site work up on Crescent Street. Retaining wall has been cut down, precast cap is on site, just waiting on the rail, but that can be turned over very soon, just a couple weeks for fabrication there. Sallyport interior worked through demolition of previous cells and starting to form new storage closets and other areas and fit out that space. Phase 2B, this is the previous dispatch new roll call area. Demolition makes safe substantially complete and beginning MEP fit out and framing in the coming weeks. Fire department apparatus bay, pavement replacement's been done, concrete apron set. And then last item on the look ahead is chief's office beginning next week, just replacing his carpet. Fire department.
Just a quick question on the boiler room.
Yes,
Is that operational?
it is.
Okay. Is there an energy management system that controls it? And does the town control that?
There is a building management system. It's temporary right now while we wait for permanent VFDs to come in. Monitoring and actually hearing a few complaints through the departments just of regulation temperature as we get into the swing seasons. But yes, it is active. It's just a little temperamental until permanents are in place.
John, do we have windows on site or readily available?
Windows
check
are-
the masonry? We don't have any issue with delivery dates on those?
We do not. All windows for the project are in Greenfield shop and personally visit them. Ready to be put in as soon as the mason is breaking down, chasing them out.
Any further questions? Thank you, John.
That's it.
All right, Lynn,
Yes.
start the high school chief Scory. There any questions or discussion or comments?
No, all good, thank you.
All right, Deputy Chief Calabrese.
All set, thank you.
All right, Craig, thanks. All right, that's it for the public safety building.
Excellent.
Thank you. All right, Lynn,
Working on the slideshow for the high school.
there it is.
There you go. First up, administrative actions, meeting minutes, invoices, and budget update, and then a review of upcoming meetings and an overall schedule review.
I move that we approve the October 20th Permanent Building Committee, School Building Committee meeting minutes as written.
I will second as written.
Any discussion? Hearing none, are there any objections to approving the October 20th, 2022 Permanent Building Committee, School Building Committee meeting minutes? Hearing none, they're approved.
Thank you. And October invoices for the project.
I move that we approve Left Field's invoice number 18 dated 10/31 for the sum of $22,000.
I second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Tom,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Jason,
Yep.
Chip,
Yes.
Mark,
Yes,
Wayne,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
approved unanimous.
Let me just explain this next invoice. This is for the schematic design cost estimating. That was the third estimator for the project, AM Fogarty. And we paid it under our contract.
So the other question I have, Lynn, here is at this point, once we pay that, we still have $15,000 left for schematic design, but haven't we finished all the schematic design work?
No, we haven't. Since submission of the schematic design, we've been back and forth responding to MSBA. We also have our project scope and budget meeting coming up on Monday.
And that's all under schematic design.
Correct. We also have another request from MSBA late today to provide further information by November 28th. And then we have the board meeting on the 21st of December.
Okay, so schematic design
Plus
stays
support of
open
the-
until that time.
Until December 21st. So we have
Okay.
support of the forums coming up as well.
Okay,
And we're continuing our weekly leadership meeting.
okay. I move that we approve left field invoice number 18 dated 10/31 for the sum of $18,150.
And I second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Tom,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Jason,
Yes.
Chip,
Yes.
Mark,
Yes.
Wayne. Yes. Bill,
yes,
John,
yes,
it's unanimous.
I move that we approve SMMA's invoice number 0057950 dated 10/6. Dated 10/6. For the sum of $74,215. They a little behind?
Yeah, I usually don't get their invoices until after these meetings, so.
Okay.
All right, I'll second.
Any discussion? Lynn? Lynn,
Yes,
so the balance left after this for SMMA is 61,000?
yes,
And that's to cover the rest up till
till
December?
December 21st, yes, and
Okay.
that probably has some of their consultants' fees in there as well,
All right,
that haven't been billed out yet.
okay. Any other discussion? Hearing none. Tom,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Jason,
Yep.
Chip,
Yes.
Mark,
Yes.
Wayne,
Yes.
Bill,
yes.
John?
yes,
Unanimous.
I move that we approve Crowley's Clippers for the invoice number 55668 dated 9/1 for the sum of $720.
So there's gotta be a joke in this one before I
Yeah,
second.
I mean,
it.
seriously, who got the haircut?
That's what I'm thinking. Did we give
I mean-
haircuts to this whole school staff? What was this? like?
This is for the
Is this for
repair,
the permanent building committee's haircuts?
yeah, this is for the repair of the turf when they did the testing on the oval.
All right, I'll second that.
Nice.
Any other discussion outside of other comments about Clippers? Hearing none. Tom,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Jason,
Yep.
Chip,
Yes.
Mark,
Yes.
Wayne,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes,
John. Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
Okay,
And I didn't even say anything about you not needing their services, Joe. I didn't even
I
say
was
anything
waiting for
about
that one. I was waiting for that one. Wow.
But I didn't say anything about
I
it.
know you didn't, but you certainly wanted to, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
All right, well, let's see. Nope. All right.
so to date, we've committed 87% of the budget and we've expended 74%. We have a total of uncommitted funds of $267,752 in the feasibility study, which will likely be returned untouched. Which we could move forward into the remainder of the budget at the project scope and budget meeting.
At the right time, we should discuss that.
Yes. Any
Any
questions?
further questions or discussion on the budget update? Hearing none. Lynn?
Okay. Just quickly, we had a meeting with Wakefield Municipal Gas and Light today. Looks like they have made great progress on the energy park. We shared our project with them and they shared the status of their project. They have a great video on their website about the project. It's only about 3 minutes, so I would recommend everybody going and taking a look at it. But it's exciting what they're doing, and we were concerned at one point about whether or not we should hold funds for an emergency generator just in case this didn't go through, but it looks like it's only a matter of the town approving an easement there, and they have all their funding in place. So we're excited about working with them on the energy park.
And that's part of the upcoming town meeting.
Yes, it is. we have the Traffic Advisory Committee. I confirmed with Lieutenant Anderson that we could be on the next advisory committee meeting. He said it was going to be late in November, but they haven't picked a date yet. I know that SMMA also provided information to them in advance and asked for comments so that we could be prepared for the meeting once it's scheduled, and hopefully wrap up our approvals with the Traffic Advisory Committee at this very next meeting. So. And then we were hoping for some information on legal counsel's meeting with DCR in regards to expanding the easement as opposed to doing a Article 97 land swap. But we haven't received any update yet on that. We'll keep following up on that. And then some of the meetings that have come up, Tuesday, there was the Professional Day design presentation. I heard that it went really well. I wasn't able to attend, but Tim from our office did. Brian Black was there and presented for SMMA, and I heard that it was very well received. We have the MSBA project scope and budget and transition meeting coming up Monday. I just late today received their comments on our budget, so I have to go through that, and I'll update you guys on what comments that they had prior to the meeting on the 14th.
What is generally what this meeting is going to be about?
They're gonna go through their take on the budget that we submitted to them and review it line by line with you so that you understand it.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to really go through it myself, and I'm gonna try to get a meeting with them in advance of the 14th so I can understand where they're coming from on things, but and try to prep you in advance of the meeting on the 14th.
Thanks.
We have the MSBA Board of Directors meeting coming up on December 21st, which we anticipate them approving the project on that date. We have the Public Forum 10 coming up on November 14th. It is an in-person forum in the cafeteria of the high school. They're going to be providing tours of the school in advance of the meeting at 7 p.m. and after the meeting as well. And it's going to be set up more as a panel discussion. There'll be a brief presentation and then the opportunity for the public to ask questions of the panel.
Lynn, can I just add one thing that we discussed on Tuesday? Originally, it was going to be like Tim O'Brien and Doug were going to be leading the tours, but they have since changed, and that they're going to actually be student-led from their their quote-unquote student leadership group will be the ones giving the tours of the building before and afterwards. And then a member from Left Field and SMMA are accompanying them to provide any additional answers to questions that might arise.
Excellent. We also have a date for Public Forum 11. We've held December 15th with WCAT. We've asked if the PAC for the high school would like to have that date, and we're waiting on their decision on that. I guess I have the Board of Directors meeting down here twice. Sorry about that. And we have the special town meeting scheduled for January 28th and the ballot election on March 11th.
Yeah, those have not been officially set yet by the town council, but they will be soon. Those are our understanding of what the proposed meetings will be, but that has not in stone yet until the town council approves that.
So our next PBC meeting, school building committee meeting, is scheduled for December 8th. And I will adjust the January 12th meeting to the 19th as we discussed at the public safety meeting.
Any questions on the schedule update?
Not a question on the schedule. Just wondering, do you think there's any movement on the per square foot cost or anticipated cost for the town or the state? Any movement?
I
know
think
there was in the paper.
there's been a lot of activity in that regard. I think MSBA is hearing from a lot of communities. There was a meeting this past week, I believe it was Thursday, where MSBA met with all projects that are active currently, project managers from all of those projects, discussing what's happening with bids and budgets. So they're going to be compiling information received from all of the active projects and providing that information to all the districts, basically so that they understand that they're not alone in this. I know that there's been a lot of discussion about cost per square foot, but I have no idea when and if they will change the cost per square foot. But I do know that there's also been talk about being retroactive. Typically, when MSBA sets your project at the board of directors meeting, even if the cost per square foot changes, because you're already set, they don't allow it to change. But I think they're talking about making it retroactive for some of the projects that are struggling with budget currently.
Jonathan, you had raise your hand.
Yep, just two other points of context. I believe that the MSBA actually at the same December 21st board meeting where our project is presented, I believe they're also scheduled to look at the per square foot cap at that meeting within the confines of the budget that they already have approved. So we may have some new, and hopefully we'll have some new and better information at that meeting, not just about our project approval, but the cap issue. Separately, I know our legislative delegation has been working on identifying additional funding opportunities for the MSBA that would also allow them to expand the reimbursement. That's really probably more of a January discussion, just because the legislature is not in session now until after the first of the year in formal session. So it'll be a little while before we know if there's any further opportunity there. But there's been, I think, good engagement. From my understanding, both from the MSBA and from folks in the legislature about hopefully trying to address something here.
Thank you, Jonathan. Any other questions or comments regarding the schedule? All right, Lynn.
And finally, wanted to talk a little bit about the overall project schedule. And I did a quick schedule overview here, but I'm going to turn it over to Dave because he has a little bit better schedule in regards to the timing of the project. We've been saying for quite some time that we're going to be turning the building over in September of 2026 for the school opening. As we get into the schedule and look at it more closely, and the fact that we're not completing the election until March 11th, we've kind of pushed ourselves out to a point where it makes it very difficult to meet the September 2026 opening. So an abundance of caution and what we submitted to MSBA, we pushed that opening date to mid-year. It's not ideal for the school and not what we wanted, but where we are today, we wanted to be conservative on what we could accomplish. And I'll let Dave go over it a little bit with you. Dave?
Excellent. Sure. So just a sort of high level recap, as Lynn mentioned, the votes that are now almost set in stone were a little different than what was anticipated when we first came on, and therefore the designer, SMA, can't start the next phase of design until that's been done as well. So some of the anticipated dates that were originally thought through for the CM coming on board for release of early packages and 100% CDs have now been pushed out as well. to go along with the extended vote duration. So we worked really closely, challenged each other with respect to making sure that every sort of potential stone was turned over to make sure that any float or any kind of creativity we could squeeze out of the design and early construction schedule was looked at. We settled on what was realistic, and based on also unanticipated back when was all the ground improvement work that is now come to fruition. And that's really what drives the schedule now. We can't get in the ground as early as we originally thought we could based on all that ground improvement work. So the bad news, as Lynn just mentioned, is it does push us to a mid-year opening, but I would say that there's some benefits there as well, where some of the building winter conditions fall a little better and may save a little money on the general requirement side. So it's all a push-pull, and this building's so large that sections of the building are going to be complete months ahead of others. And we've been talking about, is there some further creativity that can be accomplished later on? But I think, to Lynn's point, for planning purposes, this is a realistic schedule that absolutely can be accomplished, and we'll look for more opportunities to pull it back if we can. But I think at this point, it would be it wouldn't be wise to assume that we could do much acceleration with the designer not even in DD yet. That's kind of where we're at. But again, I would stress that some of this is good based on the cost because of where things fall into or where things do or don't fall into winter conditions through the phases. So there are some silver linings to the extension.
Any questions or discussion regarding the schedule update? Okay, there none. Thanks, Dave. Lynn?
That's it for our presentation for tonight.
All right. Are there any other matters that any of the people wish to discuss?
All good.
All right. Well, Richard, I'm glad you joined us tonight, and you'll see. We'll see what we're like, and look forward to working with you on this committee. And do I hear a motion to click leave?
Chip's muted, but he made the motion and I seconded it. So good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye.